Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering the woke boycotts. People are not quite boycotting Chick-fil-A yet. They may decide to do that, but there is an explosion of conversations, especially online, talking about what is going on with Chick-fil-A. Why are they saying they're going to embed diversity in everything they do? Why are they featuring diversity, equity, and inclusion on their website? We thought this was a Christian company with Christian values. Well, things have changed a little bit. And of course, you get a little bit concerned when you hear about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you hear about that being embedded in everything they do. And you say, well, I don't know if I can trust this company anymore because we've had experiences with Bud Light, we've had experiences with Target, but most seriously, we've had bad experiences with Disney where people don't even trust Disney to produce cartoons or produce movies or TV shows that they can let their children watch because their values at Disney now are very different than average and normal parents. When you have diversity, equity, and inclusion on one side and you have traditional Western values on another side, they do not seem to mix. Let's get into this story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. I'm trying to get my subscribers up to 15,000. If you can subscribe, please do subscribe. Thank you so much for that. Chick-fil-A is a company that's privately owned. We're not going to see their stock tank. We're not going to hear that their sales are off. Their sales are not publicly reported. They have more than 2,900 restaurants and they've been in business for 77 years. And they've really always been considered a company who was influenced by the Christian religious beliefs of their late founder. If you search Chick-fil-A on Google, you'll find their website. And then immediately after that, the first thing you'll see listed is diversity, equity, and inclusion. That ought to make you a little bit nervous, and it does make people nervous. It's not alphabetical. It's something featured on their website. A tweet that started getting people noticing what's going on with Chick-fil-A came from Joey Manarino on May 30th. He wrote this: "To be clear, Chick-fil-A hiring a vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion just means their corporate infrastructure will become way less white, way less male, and way less straight, which means their brand will become way less valuable and their product will become way less tasty and well produced. Their market share will collapse because their customer base will shrink." That's not the isms talking. That's the last 10 years of Hollywood woke movie production talking. That's Bud Light and Target talking. That's our eyes and ears talking. We've all seen what happens when a company goes woke, and it never ends well. It won't for Chick-fil-A either. He then followed up with this: "The bottom line is a company focused on wokeness and forced equity isn't a company focused on making a good product. When you're a company, your top priority is making a quality product or service. If you're focused on making sure that Jan the Tran feels accurately represented by having the right flag in the window, you're doing it wrong." That was his take. A lot of people feel that way. Here's another tweet from Brandon Morse: "Chick-fil-A is infected with DEI and it will only be a matter of time before that place falls in every way possible." From the National Post: "Chick-fil-A is being boycotted for hiring a director of diversity. Quote, this is not homophobia. This is we like natural men and women and don't want to be forced into your world of liberal depravity." And this is a little bit disturbing. Now, there's nothing wrong, of course, with having kids' toys. There's nothing wrong with having kids' toys that have characters in them with different skin tones. What is wrong is deliberately saying we're going to be making diverse kid toys to celebrate diversity. We just don't like that. We just don't like thinking that we're going to be buying a kid's meal at any fast food restaurant, giving it to a kid, understanding, okay, now I have to look at the toys and check all the products to make sure you're not pushing any kind of agenda. And they are pushing an agenda, and they admit they're pushing an agenda. This is a press release from the company Upbounders. The toys seem fine. There's really nothing terrible about the toys. Here's a nice quote: "I'm thrilled for kids and parents who may not know about Upbounders yet to enjoy our meaningful play solutions from the child's wondrous point of view," said Kemi Tignor, founder of Upbounders. "Our mission is to get people to pause and delight in the joyfully diverse world we live in. We just don't want the word diverse mixed in. The characters can look any which way. We're very sensitive to the agenda." Why? Because we have things like this from Lego saying Lego becomes latest company facing boycotts over its transgender building sets. "Lego wants your children to become trans." This is from Ali London, a tweet. The toy maker, which is recommended for aged 5+, wants to subconsciously influence your children with gender ideology each time they play with the building sets. Do you think this is okay? It's normalizing it for children. It's not necessarily hypnosis, but it's not something that parents want legitimized and mixed in with their children. They have a right to raise their children the way they want to raise their children. And I will tell you something else. The pushback that I'm seeing from left-wing websites and left-wing media is way more than anything I saw on Bud Light and anything I saw on Target. It may be because the Bud Light and Target boycotts were so incredibly effective. But it's one website after another website after another website. I was doing research yesterday and I couldn't believe how many websites there were. I just stopped. From the New Republic, conservatives are now boycotting Chick-fil-A for not being homophobic enough. Right-wingers are mad that the food chain is turning woke. From Rolling Stone, not even Chick-fil-A is safe from anti-woke right-wingers. The Christian-owned fast food giant is under attack for its corporate diversity policies. From LGBTQ Nation, conservatives are now calling for a boycott of Chick-fil-A for going woke. Conservatives have loved Chick-fil-A ever since it opposed LGBTQ equality, but now they're freaking out. From Gizmodo, right-wingers consider fully canceling their once holy Chick-fil-A. The chicken sandwich chain's diversity chief said the brand's committed to respect, understanding, and dignity, apparently antagonizing the reactionary right. You know, that's all well and good, but they did pledge to embed diversity in everything that they do. So it's not just, oh, we're going to take care of people, we're going to be nice, we're going to respect everyone. It's more than just that. And what's also amazing about the left-wing pushback is this isn't just them republishing each other's articles. I deleted all of those. These are all unique, extensive articles where editors got together, writers got together, whatever it was that they did, and they spent a lot of time immediately pushing back on this. From Salon, at 2 Chick-fil-A, far-right pundits turn on Chick-fil-A over diversity and equity initiative. A months-old update to the chicken chain's website has some conservative culture warriors crying foul. That is funny. I'll give them credit for the foul one. From Forbes, the new anti-woke crusade targets DEI. And Chick-fil-A? From Yahoo News and Huffington Post, Chick-fil-A branded woke after right-wingers find old diversity statement. From Pink News, even Chick-fil-A is being threatened with boycott after hiring diversity lead. What I think is important about these is each of these are unique attacks on conservatives and unique defenses of Chick-fil-A. These are outlets that all hated Chick-fil-A because they didn't like Chick-fil-A having Christian values. Apparently, those Christian values are not what they used to be. From the Daily Beast, now far-right nutters want to boycott Chick-fil-A. Chicken for thee, but not for me. Critics are targeting the chicken chain after discovering its months-old diversity and inclusion plan. From PolitiFact, they needed to take this and make a political fact out of this. Chick-fil-A did not just hire a vice president of diversity, equity, and inclusion. From the New York Times, why Chick-fil-A is drawing fire over a culture of belonging. The fast food chain, once a darling of conservatives, has joined other corporations in pursuing diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, prompting some on the right to accuse it of going woke. From Vox, conservatives think Chick-fil-A is woke now? The right-wing outcry over the fast food chain briefly explained. And from Newser, Chick-fil-A under fire, this time from the right. Critics learned the chain has an exec in charge of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's amazing to see all of these unique articles immediately published right after Joey Manarino put his tweet out. A lot of people did a lot of work to try to calm this down as quickly as possible. But the big question comes from something posted on Fox Business. Chick-fil-A gets heat from Twitter users over DEI. Chick-fil-A has had a DEI officer since 2020, but the company's purpose also notes glorifying God. Can you have a DEI focus at a company at the same time as the company is focused on glorifying God? Well, the answer to that is you absolutely cannot. You just can't. Not from my point of view, because there's a whole different value set. One says, 2 wrongs don't make a right. The other says, keep doing wrong until you get what's right. Christian values made Chick-fil-A what it is. Very successful business that a lot of people feel very good about going to. Changing those values to try to accommodate the woke corporate push is not going to be good for the company. It's not going to be good for the employees. It's not going to be good for the customers. and I don't see how it's going to help anyone. They make good chicken. It's bad to see Chick-fil-A actually go woke. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Did you know that they already had a diversity, equity, and inclusion officer going all the way back to 2020? You probably know what their history is as a Christian company. Do you think that they can have Marxist DEI values and values glorifying God at the same time? Or do you agree with me that's really not a conflict that they could ever resolve? It's going to be one or the other. Did you know they're making diversity kids toys? That you can't even get kids toys unless you accept their diversity kid toys? Does that make you feel comfortable? It makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And have you ever seen a media response like this? Rolling Stone, New Republic, all these entities, New York Times, Salon, Yahoo, Huffington Post, Pink News, Daily Beast, all these entities with PolitiFact, all these individual publications trying to push back, mock conservatives, tamp down the potential for a boycott with Chick-fil-A. They don't want diversity, equity, and inclusion challenged. I, for one, don't support it, but it looks like it is getting challenged at Bud Light, at Target, and probably now Chick-fil-A. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Really appreciate you guys. Also, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.